Hi, I'm Whitney Mendoza, founder of Fifth City, and today I want to share with you about a trend that started in 2022, but I know it's going to continue into this next year. So what do you need for visibility and awareness? Well, I'd like to challenge you with this first piece, which when you hear it, you may argue, Whitney, that's a super old school way of thinking, but I beg to differ. Real is rare. Why is this so important? Anything that is rare is of value. Always has been, always will be. So perhaps it's something that's limited edition, or maybe it's one of a kind, and in essence, that's you, my friend. So let's take this example. I could go on Google right now, search for an Atlanta plumber, and Google's gonna give me 1,000 results. But each of those plumbers is different. There's a different personality, a different owner, different team members, possibly even their own way of conducting business, or perhaps doing the actual thing that I need in my home to fix my plumbing. Each person is different. And so we as smarter consumers and buyers want to know that, and we have new ways every day of figuring that out. For example, we can now know if followers are purchased. I'll give you an example. We do a lot of work with podcast hosts, and so this particular podcast host had a guest. The guest had over 100,000 followers on social media, and so this host just knew it was going to be one of the most popular episodes of the year to have this individual on. But in fact, it ended up being the opposite. It was one of the least popular episodes of the year. And that's because she later found out that all of those followers had been purchased. And you can do this too. There are platforms where you take a social media link and put it into that platform, and you can see that these followers and likes, comments, and things of that nature have been purchased. We're smarter today, and quite frankly, we don't like feeling that we've been bamboozled. So maybe you're thinking, okay, Whitney, I hear you, real is rare. My consumer, my buyer is smarter these days. So how exactly do I represent that online? You know, maybe you're thinking about launching a new product, or just simply revamping how you show up on social media and online, and you want to change that strategy. Well, it really comes in the form of a little peek behind the curtain. Now, I'm not saying you have to share all the details of your life online. In fact, I would tell you do the opposite. But I want to give you a specific example of how a peek behind the curtain to your followers can be a very impactful thing to do. So I'll give you an example with one of our clients. He is a public speaker, and this is really how he makes his living. He also writes books and things of that nature. But when he goes around the world and travels and speaks at conferences and things of that nature, he is often voted the People's Choice favorite speaker. And so what's interesting is you would never know that this individual actually had a stuttering problem as a child that they had to learn from and grow through. And so recently he shared this post. It was just a picture of him, and it was very vulnerable, but he was essentially thanking everyone for voting him as their favorite speaker. But he shared that it's often hard to hear what a great speaker he is, knowing that he used to have a stutter, and he had to work through that and put in the hard work to be able to become the speaker that he is today. And he just shared that that was hard, even still today, if anxieties are high or he's done several speaking engagements in a row, he really has to do some self-talk to work through that stuttering that's kind of always lives in the back of his mind. And so through this post, it garnered over 20,000 impressions, 280 reactions, and over 42 comments. Now, you can't do something like this every day. You have to be very strategic. Every post that you place out on the world can't be a tearjerker or something that necessarily touches the heart. You have to be strategic with these things. But this is a great example of how people really want to work with people and get to know you. So to back this up even more, I'm going to share a little history lesson with you. So back in the day, the Greeks were known for making the best pottery. They were so good, in fact, that of course this created imposters and imitators. However, these imposters didn't exactly have the right system and the secret sauce, if you will, to be able to recreate the Greeks' pottery to the perfection that the Greeks had done it. They would often leave their pottery in the kiln for too long, causing cracks in the pottery, and countless mistakes can get rather expensive. So instead of just starting over, these imposters would put wax in the cracks, paint over their pottery in the hopes that those buyers wouldn't be able to tell all the little imperfections in their pottery. This is where we get the word samsara, or sincere, which means without wax. The Greeks, to set apart their pottery from these imposters, would start etching this at the bottom of their pottery so that buyers would know that this was an authentic piece of Greek pottery. It was sincere. It was the real thing. So as you can see, authenticity wins out. Our customers are smarter these days. They want to work with you. They want to know the real you. They want to know that what you're sharing online is the true you. Who you are online should match up with who you are in person. If I see you on LinkedIn and then we finally get to meet one-on-one at a networking event, if those two voices don't match up, I become skeptical, and so will your customers. We want the real thing. Sometimes we need more than a quick answer or a quick touch point from a bot that we may talk to online. So if you're wondering, Whitney, well, how exactly do I capture the right voice? Perhaps you're super busy running a company and don't really have time for social media and marketing. Well, I would love to help you with that. You can find me on LinkedIn, Whitney Mendoza, and we are everywhere at Fifth City Co.